What do you think of the thumbnail? Listen, if you're not part of the Discord, you're missing out on some flavor. There are some artists in there, right? Forget Picasso. Go to that Discord meme channel that we've got in the Traders Reality Discord, Pattern Watchers. Go check that out. You want to see these thumbnails get done? Go and have a look at the work that's being executed over there. Got some absolute madness. I'm actually going to show you one right now. I just think it's absolutely crazy what they're doing in there. Look at this. Hold on a second. Watch this. This is actually brilliant. Hold on. Here we go.
Just let.
Wait. Just go change the thing right there. Here we go. Look at this.
Let me know when you're on my level. When you finally understand this token.
Yeah, there he is. It's actually wild. What else we got? King T, mad love to you, man. Didn't have to make that. But yeah, look. Well. Look at that flipping smile. It's the same thing. I don't believe it. Yeah, look at it. Gold, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. Gold. Yes, it's doing a very interesting thing, but yeah, I mean, when I had my drum kit, yeah, awesome. Look at that sweat. But it's, there you go. That's the Discord. And they've got some madness, like serious madness. Like, it's just the best. Look at it. Look at that. Oh my days. But yeah. That's the madness that unfolds in the Discord. So go check that out. Anyways, so what's been going on today? Trump talking about automakers. He's going to relieve, trying to cut down on certain payments for cars and what have you. He's also talking about cutting fuel and it's BS. I'm not interested in that. Okay. It's not really doing anything. Whipsaw price action today in the marketplace. Crypto's not done anything. And again, Bitcoin, it's always going to give us the idea as to whether investors are in the favor of risk or not. But Bitcoin is going to be waiting for the PCE data that comes out on Friday. It's simple as, because that is going to be the next metric that gives us the idea of where we are with the rate cuts themselves. Going into it all, to break it all down for you, as it stands, 89% is where the bet is currently sat at. Let's see where we are right now. So it's now trickled up just a slight amount, but it's still at 89% chance that the rates are going to get cut in the next 6 days, ladies and gentlemen. 6 days in what could be the last meeting for Jerome Powell if Hassan does not step in at the start of the new year. With that being said, the stock market has done something pretty interesting today. As we saw in the live stream earlier on, Microsoft had introduced that they are going to be cutting the costs, the sales quotas on certain AI software. So the NASDAQ takes a stumble to the downside, but they ain't ever going to be buying stocks at premium, should I say. So they only just bring it back up, as you can see right there. NASDAQ pulled the despicable, the wonderful red vector candle recovery, complete straight move to the upside, ladies and gentlemen. It was screaming in our face. And what you'll find, guys, is wherever you see this big, monstrous candle, at some point they're going to recover it. At some point in the future, if not sooner. And this is, of course, the red candle, green candle formation. Now, inside of the red candle, green candle formation, you ideally want to be seeing price of the next candle, closing as far as it can into the previous red vector. But you can see here that they didn't do that. There was a little bit of instability in what goes on behind the bids and the offers. But you can see that the market is very treacherous. Even going into Bitcoin's price action, it's just done fantastic. This is good news for Bitcoin. The number of confluences that are coming into play to suggest Bitcoin's stability at these levels is very important. But going into tomorrow, we only have the unemployment claims data coming out, which is showing an increase of 219,000. But based on the way the non-farm employment change data has come out today, are we going to get a true picture of where we are with the jobs data? Remember, we don't have the full picture with the jobs data. But more importantly, we've got the core price index coming out on Friday at 3 p.m. Now, the deciding factor with the price index is simple. Is inflation going to be a problem? If not now, is it going to be one later? Is the labor market telling us the economy is slowing down? I mean, if we go into it today, when we have a look at the ISM services PMI, 52.6. What is that telling you? It's telling you that the services sector, because this reading here is a level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers. That effectively means that 300, no, yes, 300 purchasing managers are asked the question, how do they rate the current situation in the economy? So that factors in business conditions, employment, production, new orders, prices, supply, deliveries, and inventories. So when those managers get asked, what do you think of all this stuff? They turn around and they say yes, no, which gives a reading or a diffusion index and says, okay, this is where we all are. All those 300 purchasing managers are in favor of the economy because the reading came out at 52.6. What is it about purchasing managers that we need to pay attention to? Let's see if you do actually listen. What do we correlate the purchasing managers to? Who's been listening? What is it that the purchasing managers index in principle, what does that give us? It tells us something that you all keep asking me about. And the reason you ask me is because you're like, well, why isn't Bitcoin going up because of it? Let's see who's been listening. I want to know whilst you're at it. Come on. No, I've not lost no bets. I just shaved my head. What is it that you guys think it is? I really want to know. Expansion? No. Not expansion. No. What is it? What do we relate the purchasing managers index to? Maybe not green jumpers, but what is it? Because this is going to help you understand really how to read macroeconomic data. Because then you're going to come to the charts and be like, okay, where are we at? All right. Contraction, mate. No, not contraction. No. XRP. Get out. Go away. All right, no, it's not. Okay, so what it is the purchasing managers index is tied very, very closely to the M2 money supply because that is the potential purchasing power, right? Potential. Now, if purchasing managers are actually in favor of the situation, economically speaking, in terms of inventories, economic growth, and what have you, and employment and all the stuff that comes with running businesses, then you think that these 300 purchasing managers are going to do what? They're going to be putting money to work. So with the potential power of the M2 money supply, if that's going up, that is telling us that the potential purchasing power of money is present and it's going up, which means that everything else is going to follow because all that money is going to go back into businesses, the economy. So when you see a reading like that, it tells you that there is expansion, correct? Not contraction, there is expansion. The manufacturing sector has contracted for 9 times. It's contracted 9 times, all right? That's a bit of a problem. But this is giving us a different story about the services, okay? So that means there's demand, and that's going to sustain the economy. So then the Federal Reserve will ask the question, should we be cutting? Well, Friday, you're going to know if that's the case. Because on Friday, if we do actually get the price index, core price index coming in, it's expected at 0.2%. If that comes in higher, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a big problem in the marketplace. We will. Because this bet right here can easily change and drop all the way down to 60% chance. And if the bets for a rate cut to change in the next 6 days, my God, that'll be actually wild if that actually happens. Anyways, let's see what else has been going off across the board. Bank of Japan. Yeah, it's pretty much the story right now. Zero rates, negative rates, and yield curve control. Bank of Japan are entering the normalization process. Okay, the normalization phase. As Besant would say, that, Bank of Japan need to start normalizing their policy. So increase in interest rates are coming into play with Bank of Japan. Get ready for the carry trade unwind. That's why everything is going up on light volume. So that's something you got to take into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. Trump promises largest tax refund season ever for Americans. This is why everyone is like, they're humming and ahhing about the idea as to whether or not the rates should be cut. Because you start cutting taxes, people are going to spend money and your tariffs are still there. He's talking about getting rid of income tax because the revenue that he's generating from the tariffs can effectively cover the cost for that. I mean, great idea, but we're going to have a little bit of a problem like this. Congress to impose a ban on lawmaker stock trades. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, she absolutely ripped it apart. And everyone made bank on her purchases. They really did. So why would they want to stop that? I don't think that's good. But this is interesting. Morgan Stanley considers offloading some of its data center exposure. Is this part of the crack? Think about it. If Microsoft have turned around and said, we're going to start reducing the sales quota on certain AI softwares, now Morgan Stanley's considering parking some investments in data centers, what is that all associated to? Cost. Is AI at an entry level going to be a hard thing to come by? Is it going to cost businesses a lot of money just to get involved? Because if the sweet spot is this, if AI can force companies to have no other choice but to take on the product that they need to expand their business, and if they don't, they do not survive, that is where AI will continuously just dominate, and the businesses within AI will continuously fluctuate. Well, should I say, they will increase in value. Okay, they will continuously grow. Because if AI can clearly establish, or whatever company can create a service or a product that forces people in tech to purchase it, cost is not the issue. They will have no choice but to spend the money if they want to survive. That's what I believe is going on, in my opinion. If AI can achieve that, that's why all these models keep on coming out in different ways and different things, doing things, okay? It needs to get to a point where there is just one thing that everyone in the game of tech have no choice but to purchase it. Whoever can claim monopoly in the game of AI will continuously keep AI at the top. It will be the best performing sector in years to come, regardless of what's going on in the economy or not. We had yields of the 2-year and the 5 and the 10-year above 4%, okay? We had interest rates at 4.5%. Yet NASDAQ, S&P, and NVIDIA, they were all making all-time highs because these companies are cash rich. That's something to really take into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which, crypto. Bitcoin fishing for cuts. Bitcoin will make a move on Friday, in my honest opinion, once the PCE comes out. But what are you looking at? This is the Bitcoin relative strength trend score, right? And it takes a number of indicators all together, and then it puts it into this index or a score. And it says that when it's down here, people are somewhat pessimistic. When it's up here, people are somewhat optimistic. So you basically buy the green, sell the red. Wow. I mean, that's saying buy the green, right? Only if the path of interest rates continues to stay the way it is. Because no matter what, price action across the board will cause chaos for traders, especially leverage traders. But all day today, Bitcoin has been in the offering. They have been buying. Oh, should I say, they have been selling. Now, they don't buy it when it rises. They sell it when it rises because you can't buy it if no one sells it. And the person that's selling it into the person that's buying it, obviously, he's the one that's saying, thank you very much, Mr. Retail Trader. You keep on reacting when you get a notification from Binance, Crypto.com, Bybit saying that Bitcoin is up 2%. Oh, we're missing out on an opportunity. Quickly go and buy some Bitcoin because it's already up 2%. Nah. Even gold will drop, but not now. Something big will happen in the whole market, mate. Bookmark my word. I mean, I agree with you because there's only one of two things that the market can do. It can expand and contract. So it's not like we're not going to see any of that stuff, you know? Of course the markets are going to drop. I've been waiting for them to drop. I'm telling you the events that are going to lead to it. It's no surprise, my bro. Tino, JP Morgan bought $65 million worth of Circle. They must be watching the live streams. They must be. I mean, wait a second. Here we go. Told you, like when there's a reason, I ain't gonna say I told you, okay? Just keep an eye out on Circle, okay? That's all I'm saying to you. Just watch it, all right? If you hadn't have told me that, I wouldn't have known it. Straight up with you all. But I've already got the scope in my mind. Been saying to you, there's going to be business deals coming into play with Circle, okay? It's the pioneer of the stable market. That's the impression. That's the logic they're trying to sell, and it's selling. What do you want me to say to you? They're jealous of BlackRock and Sailor. Yeah, they are. They certainly are. You know? Where's my altcoin gang? Just whatever money you can get from altcoins, take it, man. You get an altcoin season for 5 minutes. Right? Wow. Like 5-6 days. Altcoin season for 5 days. It was 88, right? And then it went down to 42. What was that? All right, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. Here we go. Oh, God. All right, guys, listen, you got to keep an eye on this. Kachi's Taiwan talk risks an unwinnable fight. China is not going to settle if Japan are going to try and just do business or do something with Taiwan in the sense where Japan wants to start planting rockets over there. Do you know what? This is why US is going to try and step in. I think that would be the next biggest problem, for the marketplace. Taiwan is the place for semiconductors. You own Taiwan, you own AI. Simple as. All right? You own that, you own the AI markets. That's why China's trying to get into it. And quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, China's economy is getting smacked to the death. Okay? That means the world's economy is going to slow down because it's the world's factory. When you understand that, then you can understand if we are going into an expansionary phase or a contractionary phase. This expansion in the US economy is false, in my opinion. Why? Because you don't have the economies around it that are needed to effectively sustain the idea of the economy working. Okay? The US doesn't create anything. It buys everything from China. And if China's economy is doing dumb, then that means that you've got a problem. It's the world's factory, let alone tariffs. Look. You want to know if China's doing well or not? There you go. That's how you know China isn't doing well. Oil's price. Go back and look at when oil's price was high, okay? When it was high, right? That's when China's economy was doing good, all right? That's when China's economy was doing good. You just look at that. Right? And then you'll understand why China is so important to the world. It really is. Anyways. Not bad, Bitcoin. Not bad. Not bad. Where we at? Here we go. Interesting behavior. Interesting. Anyways. So, any questions? Questions. One day we will wake up and on the news that the US attacked Venezuela, then we'll see what happens in the market. Okay, oil's price will go up. So that's one way of increasing the cost of oil. Okay. The stock market will do a V-shaped reversal and come back. That's all it will do. It really will do that. It's a cheap war. Believe it or not. It's a cheap war. If the US was to attack China, that is not a cheap war. No way. Can't attack the overseas. The overseers. Tough game. Anyways, Tino, are you Mexican? Where's this bread been? I am not Mexican. You know, mad love to my gang from Mexico. No, I'm not Indian. I'm Greek, man. For God's sake. Anyways. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. $50, yes. Here we go. The US Treasury has conducted a 12.5 billion repurchase of its own debt, making it the largest Treasury buyback on record. Is this good or bad? It can be seen as good and it can be seen as bad. Why? Bank of Japan had the same problem. They kept on aggressively buying their bonds to the point where investors were like, hold on. Why are you aggressively buying your bonds? Chill out. Let us do that. When a nation or a government is buying its own bonds back, okay, it's trying to reduce the yield, okay? At the same time, advertising that there's a demand for it could mean that there's a change in the policy, okay? But the US has a problem with liquidity, quite frankly. They owe too much of it. But because everyone borrows in dollars, they are not obliged to return a single penny of it. Anyways, are you Lebanese? Let them call that. This is. I'm Greek, man. Don't worry about it. I don't know, Tino. You look pretty Turkish to me. Well, it's all Greek, innit? Anyways, listen. Mad love and respect. It's quiet. It's really quiet in the marketplace. Nothing's happened. Nothing to report per se. But we're here. Silver trade is looking good, Tino. Silver, you don't need to worry about too much with silver and gold. I mean, my expectations are clear with that. Gold and silver are just going to keep moving up, and that is just a representation of where we are with the actual story of it all. You know, I mean, look at that. Silver's just killing it. $60 nearly, man. That's just wild. I'm from Nepal. Helen, yes, thank you. Silver to 75? Yeah, easy. They're talking about silver to 150 and gold to 10K. That'll be interesting. Most definitely. Tino, do I do a full send in circle? No. You don't do full send in circle. Anyways, listen, mad love and respect, guys. Just a quick update for you. I know it's a little bit long. 20 minutes live. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be tuning into you tomorrow for unemployment claims and see what madness unfolds there. All right? Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love.